Welcome to MTG Friends. I'm Ryan, and this is day 4 of Zendikar Rising Spoilers. We got a few cards here to highlight, and there's some interesting ones. So we're just going to jump right in with Phylath World Sculptor for 4 red green. It's a little spendy. It's a legendary creature elemental. When Phylath World Sculptor enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each basic land you control. And then it's got the super cool landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 1/1 counters on target plant you control. And it already starts as a 5/5 drop. This thing is super cool, and it just builds off of itself. I don't think I need to say anything more about this card except that it is powerful, and I'm looking forward to seeing how people will lever this thing. It is a 6 drop, so I don't know if it's going to see a ton of play. But same goes for this next one. It's in red. It's Moraug, Fury of Akoum. 4 regular red, legendary creature, Minotaur Warrior. Each creature you control gets +1/0 for each time it has attacked this turn. With the landfall mechanic again, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. What? At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. And it's a 6/6 drop. Man, this is cool. Let's say you have 6 lands out. You drop this thing, and then you drop your 7th land. Now, mind you, this creature doesn't have haste, but everything else on your board, whack-a-moles twice. I mean, that is incredible. It's a 6 drop, but it does a lot for 6. Next up, Kerrigan Intimidator. It's a 2 drop in red. It's a 3/1 creature, human warrior. Cowards can't block warriors. Why are we talking about cowards? Well, let's see. You can pay 1 to do one of the 3 or all of the 3 once per turn. Choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Kerrigan Intimidator gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Target creature becomes a coward until end of turn. Ah, that's why we're talking about cowards. And target warrior gains trample until end of turn. Boy, for a 2 drop, a 3/1 human warrior, that's got some cool stats. So you could pay 1 or multiples to make it do some extra snazzy stuff. Cragplate Baloth for 7. Oh yeah, that's kind of spendy, but it's on the list. It's a 6/6 drop creature beast with a kicker 3. This spell can't be countered, hexproof, and haste. If Cragplate Baloth was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 4 1/1 counters on it. Now, because it's 7, I don't know how playable this thing's gonna be, but the fact that it has can't be countered and hexproof and haste, I could see this being sideboarded, or at least running 1, depending on what kind of deck you're running. I could also see this in some commander play. So I'll be super interested to see how this thing plays out. If this was in draft, I think I'd pick it up if I was in green. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think of that one. All right, Inscription of Ruin, 3 drop in black with kicker 4. We've seen the green version of this, and we know there's a set of these, so this is the black version. Choose 1. If this spell was kicked, choose any number instead. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, that's cool. Destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. This is already a decent card for 3 to get one of those, and it has flexibility like the green one did. But to be able to do all 3 of these, if you kick it later in the game, that's pretty cool. I like this card. I like what I've seen so far in the black version and the green version. Now, Seagate Restoration. This card blew me away. It's a 4 blue sorcery. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand +1. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. That is spicy. It is expensive. Yes, it is. But I can totally see this being put into commander decks. This is probably not playable in draft. And I would be curious to see if anybody ran this in standard. I'll be very curious. But this is a great modal, because it has a land on the other side, card. And for 7, you can just have a max hand size for the rest of the game. That is very unique and very interesting. You know, you don't have to have anything on the battlefield. They can't target it and get rid of it so that you have no max hand size. It's just for the rest of the game. That's amazing. Here's the only uncommon I have on the list for today and the highlights. It is Iridescent Hornbeetle for 5. Expensive, yes, I know. Creature, insect. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each 1/1 counter put on creatures under your control this turn. And it's a 3/4 drop. Boy, I can see some serious crazy stuff happening with this if you have like a doubling season out or anything that's creating 1/1 counters. Boy, this thing is going to really fill up your board quick. I like this card. Thieving Skydiver for 2, a 1 and a blue. It's a 2/1 with a kicker X. X can't be 0 flying. Now this also blew me away in this reveal today. When Thieving Skydiver enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, gain control of target artifact with converted mana cost X or less. If that artifact is an equipment, attach it to Thieving Skydiver. Can you imagine stealing somebody's Embercleave or something like that? Or even in something other than standard, or well, maybe even in standard, something outside of draft, stealing like somebody's Mana Rock or a Mox Opal or who knows what. I mean, that card is bananas. I really, really like Thieving Skydiver. And of course it's in blue. Why wouldn't it be in blue? You're stealing people's stuff. And the last one to round out the list today is Shatterskull Smashing for X red sorcery. Shatterskull Smashing deals X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, Shatterskull Smashing deals twice X damage divided as you choose among them instead. That is a very powerful card. I mean, to be able to choose creature and or planeswalkers and choose 2 targets and hit them for a ridiculous amount of damage depending on what X ends up being, that's a very cool card. And it's a modal card, so you got to land on the other side as well. I'm really digging these modal cards, and some of them are turning out to be pretty powerful and versatile. Well, that hits the end of the highlights list. In the description, we'll have a link to the entire list of the spoilers so far. Day 4 is shaping up to be really cool. I'm really enjoying and am excited about Zendikar Rising. Can't wait to draft in this. Can't wait to play Standard. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the cards. Hope you guys are too. Be a friend of the gathering. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. Spread the word. We really enjoy doing this stuff, and we really appreciate you guys checking us out.